Clinton. Folks, so many friends. You know, Jiva, you said that I got elected next door in Delaware, but I wouldn't have gotten elected, and I mean this sincerely, without an awful lot of help from Philadelphia, all the folks who came down and worked for me. And so my wife's a Philly girl. You are. I'm getting so damn angry. She's getting so excited about Wentz, I can't stand it. You know what I mean? I tell you what, you Philly fans, the most informed fans in the world, but God, you're tough, man. I tell you what, you're tough. Hey, look, I got to see Katie. I've been campaigning around the state with Katie. She is going to be your next United States Senator. And Dwight Evans, he's going to be your next Congressman in the 2nd District. And I want to tell you, if I got to be in a foxhole, I want to be in it with Dwight, I tell you. And members of the City Council, State Legislature, I want to thank Jiva for the introduction, and more importantly, as the author of the Violence Against Women Act and I've spent the bulk of my life working on these issues. It's one thing for me to sit in Washington and write this legislation as a senator and implement it as a vice president, but it's another thing to be in that rape crisis shelter. It's another thing to see the look on that young woman's face who's just been abused. It's another thing to stand there and hold her hand and knowing that God know, what do I do now? And so to Jiva and all the Jivas of Philadelphia and the nation, I say thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, folks, you saw that debate last night, didn't you? I tell you what, if his choice isn't clear, I don't know. Oh, my Lord. Look, on a very serious note, and I mean, I'm being sincere. You know, Donald Trump's is painfully uninformed. No, this isn't for cheering. I want to make an important point. And his policies are not very helpful for the country. But what bothers me about this race, and I know I'm sort of a one-man broken record on this, but what bothers me about this race is how palpable his cynicism is about the American people. You know, he acknowledged that he didn't pay taxes because he said because he's smart. Makes him smart. Tell that to the janitor in here who's paying taxes. Tell him my dad, who, when he was alive, busted his neck working 60 hours a week, paid all his taxes. Tell that your mothers and fathers are breaking their neck to send you here who are paying their taxes. No, I really mean it. It angers me. It angers me. He acknowledged that when the housing crisis collapsed, when the housing market collapsed, and maybe a lot of your parents, but they didn't lose their home, they lost the equity in their home. You know what that equity was for? That equity was for their retirement. Their equity was able to get your older sister or brother to school because they could borrow against it. That equity was their insurance. That equity was what gave them peace of mind when they got in bed. And this is a guy who said, and wants to be president, that it was good business for him to see the housing market fail. What in the hell is he talking about? No. Really, look, I've been there for 8 presidents, Democrat and Republican. I've disagreed and I've agreed. But every president I have served with, including the Republicans, has had a moral center about what it was to be an American, about what we're supposed to do, about what basic fundamental rights are. This guy, but I mean it, think about it. Can you imagine Ronald Reagan, the most conservative president we've had in a long time, can you imagine him saying, it's good business to take advantage of people's misery, rooting for that misery. I really mean this. I am not joking. I'm not kidding. What does it say about this man? And he wants to be president of the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, he does not have the basic fundamental sensibilities and values that almost every American politician, left, right, and center, I know have. They disagree on how to make things better for people, but they don't take pleasure from you're fired. They don't take pleasure from knowing that they will benefit. That's what Wall Street did. That's what Wall Street, the greatest allocator of capital in the history of the world, went awry because it decided that they could take advantage, betting against the American people. Folks, you know, it's not just those people who lost their homes. It's the business, Wall Street business that brought this all down, that put us in the place we are, that put us in the worst recession, short of a depression, in the history of the United States of America, and fundamentally impacted the entire world, fundamentally impacted the economy of the entire world. It's the reason we needed to change the rules on Wall Street. Business, the vast majority of businessmen and women are decent. The vast majority of these folks, whether they're doctors or lawyers making a good salary but not in the top 1%, they're paying their taxes. They're going out and they're trying to make things better because they know it's about you guys. To make a profit's a good thing. But usually these guys go out there and the women go out there and they make products, they provide services. That's what I call business. That's what most of the good business people I know think of as good business. But when you're sitting on top of Trump Tower in a semi-golden palace, not a joke, what do you care about the people that I grew up with in Claymont on the Pennsylvania border, or in South Philly, or in the West Side? What do you think? Do you think they think that you should brag about profiting off their misery? I mean, I don't know why more people aren't talking about this. People like my mom and dad who busted their necks their whole lives, worked and worked and worked to save so they could retire because they didn't want to be. How many times your parents tell you this? I never want to be a burden on my kids. I know I'm called middle-class Joe, and in Washington, that's not meant as a compliment. It means I'm not sophisticated. But let me tell you who built this damn country. The middle class built this country. I'm not joking. That's historical fact. That's why we're the most powerful nation in the world, because we have a middle class. It's not merely a matter of fairness. It's the reason why we have social stability, political stability, because there's always that notion that used to exist. If I work like hell, if I contribute to the profitability of the outfit I work with, I get to share in the benefits. That was a basic bargain Democrats and Republicans adhered to, but not this guy Trump. If you have the lawyers he has, if you're able to game the system like he does, he brags about gaming the system and bankruptcy, leaving hard-working people holding the bag. How many people has he stiffed? He didn't say, I didn't stiff anybody. He said, maybe they didn't do what I wanted. 5 times bankruptcy. Your mom and dad declare bankruptcy. Try to get a loan in the next 5, 10, 15 years. Try to get the money to get you to help you get to college. This That's the rigged system. He is part of the rigged system. This the same guy now comes along and says, I got a tax plan. Not a joke. Think about this, because this really is going to affect your lives. Think about this. What did he say? I'm paraphrasing from last night. He said, the money should go to the wealthy people because they do good things. Folks, the greatest threat to economic growth in the world, not Joe Biden, progressive Joe Biden, liberal Joe Biden, whatever the hell you want to call me, not Joe Biden, but the IMF, the World Bank, Standard & Poor's. The greatest threat to economic growth is the concentration of wealth in the hands of just a few. And what's he proposing? Look at the tax proposal. As my wife is a professor says, Google it. Don't take my word for it. No, I really mean it. My God. The tax plan is going to cut trillions of dollars. The overwhelming benefit to the super wealthy. It's going to do one of two things. It's going to, over 10 years, put us in debt around $9 trillion more, or we're going to have to cut every program out there, counting Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, by 40%. Come on, man. Look, guys, I know, maybe not in this room, but I know a lot of students on campus are frustrated. And I know they are not overjoyed about the choices. I know they think that Hillary didn't do A, B, C, or D. I know her well. But my Lord, what are we going to do? Here's the deal, guys. You know, I spent a lot of time on college campuses. And I ran as a 29-year-old kid. By the way, your generation is the most engaged. No, not a joke. I don't need a cheer second. Your generation is the most engaged. Your generation is the most tolerant. Your generation is the most volunteering generation in American history. But you're understandably disengaged in politics. Not you in the room, but a lot of your fellow students. And you say it's because, with good reason, the dysfunction in Washington, the way campaigns are funded, all these things which are real. Well, I was a student like you in the middle of the Vietnam War, the beginning of the end of the civil rights movement. It wasn't finished yet. The beginning of the women's movement, the environmental movement. Families split up. It was so divided. We got engaged. You've got to get your colleagues engaged. Look, we know the answer. We know the answer.